Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Patrick. I'm one of the kinesiologists here with Mosaic Primary Care Network. Today we're going to go through a modified version of our gentle fitness class that you might have engaged in. Do your best to follow along as best as you can. If you feel any type of pain or discomfort or change in symptoms, either stop or modify the activity to something that you are able to do. Awesome. Let's get started. We're just going to start off with a bit of a march. Trying to get that foot up off the ground. Really do your best to lift that ankle. Get that coordination between your opposite hand and your opposite knees. You're going to start to think about it, and it's going to be tough. When you do this normally when you walk, you do it automatically. Perfect. As we go through a little bit, let's see if we can get that knee a little bit higher up off the ground. You might notice your weight shift a little bit. That's totally fine. Again, keeping that coordination with that opposite arm and that opposite knee. Good, coming back through a little bit quicker. Still making sure that we're lifting that foot up off the ground. Try not to let it drag. Use your own body strength to lift that up. Good, and one more time, nice and high. Excellent, still keeping that opposite hand and that opposite knee together. Perfect. Next, we're going to bring that heel out front into just a little bit of a heel tap. We'll start off nice and narrow. As we go through, you can really try to challenge yourself and go out a little bit further. But do your best to keep your shoulders in line with your hips, not too much rotation throughout your torso as you come out. Good. From there, we're going to reach out to the side, alternating side tap. If you really want, you can turn that into a little bit of a side step. Again, we're not picky. Do what you're ever comfortable doing, whatever you're able to do. Good. Shifting your weight back and forth. Awesome. For the next one, you have your chair. If you have it available, use it just for a little bit of balance and some support. We're going to reach back behind you. Again, we're going to start off nice and narrow. As we go through the second time, that's when we can challenge ourselves, reaching a little back further. You can use the chair if you need to. Totally fine if not. Good. And then relaxing there and then coming back through into our march. Just to get the hips warmed up a little bit. Perfect. Let's give the legs a little bit of a break. We'll bring our arms out in front. Give yourself a nice big hug. Squeeze your shoulders back behind you, alternating the top arm that comes out in front. Really get a nice big reach out in front, big hug, and then squeeze your shoulder blades back behind you. Good. As you come back, try to imagine you squeezing a pencil or holding a marker in between your shoulder blades. Good. Let's try two more. 1 and 2. Perfect. Relax the arms. We're going to hold them down at our side. We're going to bring both arms up overhead, keeping the belly down, coming up and down nice and slowly and controlled. Make sure that the ribs stay down. We're not bending at the back. Making sure we're looking straight ahead the whole time. We're going to try about 2 more, and then we're going to switch to alternating hands. That's 1 and 2. Good. Now we're going to bring one hand up at a time, alternating as we come through. Should feel a little bit of a stretch underneath the armpit down into the shoulder. Good. Again, staying nice and tall, keeping that belly button pulled in towards your spine. Let's try 1 more on each side, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and relax. You're going to do a 2-minute walk, walking in and around the home, marching on the spot, going up and down the stairs. Totally your call. Welcome back. We're going to do round 2. So again, we're going to get back into that march, really focusing on getting that coordination piece. Opposite hand, opposite knee. Try not to think about it. Just do your best to keep up. Good. One more time, a little bit quicker, but making sure that foot comes up off the ground. Good. Relaxing from there, we're going to bring that foot out in front. Now, if you really want to try to challenge yourself to get that heel out nice and far, give it a try. We're a little bit more warmed up. If you feel any knee or hip pain, don't go too far. Go as far as you're able to without any change in symptoms or any pain. Good. Alternating each side. We're going to do one more on each leg, and then we're going to come out to the side. Good. From there, reaching into that side tap. Good. Same idea. If you really want to challenge yourself and get nice and low, bring that hip back behind you. Reach nice and far. You can turn it into a side step. As long as you're moving in side to side in some fashion, we're not picky. Good. We're going to try 2 more on each side. So 1 on right, 1 on left, 2 on right, and 2 on left. And then lastly, if you have your chair, use it to reach back behind you, really getting a nice long stretch and reach back between that hip. Good. You can use your chair if you need it. If you feel like you can maintain your balance and that coordination without it, totally fine. Reaching back nice and far. Trying to keep that front leg stacked with your knee, hip, and toe. Perfect. Back into that little bit of a march. We'll relax. Try to get that lower body a little bit recovered by relaxing, bringing the arms out in front. Big hug. Squeezing the shoulder blades back behind you. Alternating that top arm. Coming through. Nice big hug. Squeezing those shoulder blades. And repeating. We're going to try 2 more. And then we're going to bring both arms up overhead. That's 1 and 2. Good. Relax those arms down by your side. We're going to make sure that that torso stays nice and rigid and down. Lifting both arms up overhead and back down slowly and under control. Good. Lifting both arms up as high as you can without moving the ribs or bending in the back. We're going to try 2 more, and then we're going to alternate hands. That's 1 and 2. Good. Now from this position, one hand will come up while the other one stays down, and then alternating. Feeling a little bit of a stretch and a pull down just underneath the shoulder. Again, keeping the ribs down, keeping that torso nice and tight. Good, and then relax from there, back into a little bit of a march. And we're gonna take 2 minutes to walk around, do it either on the spot, a little bit of marching, or go up and down the stairs. Awesome. Okay. Next, we are going to need some type of a chair, something to hold on just for a little bit of balance. We will use it. If you can do it without it, great, but make sure that you are safe first and foremost. Firstly, we're going to start with that leg across our body, and we are going to bring it up out to the side, bringing it back slowly under control. You'll notice that we stay nice and tall, rigid, and upright. We are not leaning into that leg. Do your best to make sure that you are hanging on just for that little bit of balance and some support. We're going to do 3 more, and then we're going to come over and do the same thing on the other side. That's 2 and 3. Same thing, but now we're gonna come on to the other side. You're gonna stay nice and tall, bring that leg across. We are going to let that leg come up, pulling it up, bringing it down nice and slowly under control. Same idea, nice and tall and upright. We're not leaning into that position. Good. We're gonna try 3 more. Good. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Next, you're going to stand behind your chair. You're going to make sure that that leg is back behind you, nice and straight. And we're going to pull that heel up towards our bum, making sure that we feel a contraction coming through the back of the leg. Use the chair to hold on. This is not meant to be a balance exercise. If you can do it without any balance, totally fine, but we'd encourage you to make sure that you're holding on to something. Good. We're going to try 3 more on this leg, and then we're going to flip it around. 2, 3. Good. Coming through to the other side. Same idea, starting with that leg out, pulling that heel up towards your bum. We should feel a contraction coming through that back of the leg. Make sure that you're holding on, keeping that balance. Good. We're going to try 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Next, we're going to stand behind our chair. We are going to press all of our weight up onto our big toe. Pause and hold there for a moment, and then come back onto the heel till we feel a little bit of a stretch. Make sure that we're hanging onto our chair for that little bit of balance and some support. We should be pressing up all of our weight onto our big toe. As you come back on your heels, you might feel a little bit of a stretch down the back of the leg. Do your best to maintain that balance. Good. We're going to go for 5 more. Coming up onto the toes, pausing and holding. Then back on the heels. We got 4 more. Nice and tall. And back. Good. Last 3. Coming up onto the toes. Back onto the heels. Last 2. Toes. Heels. And last one. Nice and tall. And then back. Perfect. Again, you're going to take 2 minutes. We're going to either do a little bit of marching on the spot, maybe a little bit of walking around the home, or coming up and down the stairs. All right. We're going to go through that 1 more time, starting off beside your chair. Make sure again that you have something to hang on to. We're going to start with that leg across the body. We're going to pull it out to the side. We should feel that outside hip doing the work. Staying nice and tall as you come through. Good. Not leaning in. Keeping that nice tall posture. We're going to do 4 more. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Switch sides. I'm going to do the exact same thing, starting off making sure that we have that balance and that support. Leg will start off across the body, and we're going to gently lift that leg out to the side. Again, making sure that we're nice and tall, we're not leaning in, and make sure that that breath stays nice and normal. Try not to hold your breath. Nice and normal breathing pattern as you come through. We're going to do 4 more. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Next, we're going to stand behind our chair. Make sure you have something to hold on to. One leg is going to start a little bit further back than the other. We're going to lift that heel towards our bum using that back or that muscle on the back of the leg. Pausing for a moment and then coming back down. Staying nice and tall, make sure you have that support. Again, it's not meant to be a balance exercise. Good, we're going to do 3 more and then we will switch sides. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Switch sides, turn around. You can face the same direction, just switch legs. back behind, bringing that heel up towards your bum, really feeling that muscle in the back of the leg doing the work. Keeping that balance, nice and consistent breath. I'm going to do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Standing behind your chair, we're going to get back into that calf raise, coming up all the way onto the ball of that foot, and then back onto the heel. When we press up, all of that weight should be coming up through the toes. Make sure that we're coming up nice and straight. When you're back on your heels, you might feel a little bit of a stretch down through the back of the leg, starting from just behind the knee, maybe down towards the ankle. Coming up just as high as your body will let you. If you can come up all the way onto your big toe, great. If you can't, that's okay. Continue to work within your range, and we will do our best to get there eventually. Staying up nice and tall. We're going to try to do 3 more. Coming up onto the toes. Good. Back onto the heels. We got 2 more. Right onto the ball of that foot. And back. And last one here. Coming up nice and tall. And then back through. Perfect. We're going to again walk around 2 minutes, marching on the spot, walking in and around the home, or do a little bit of stair climbing if you have access to it. Perfect. We've done a lot of work on the lower body. Next, we're going to do a couple of exercises for the upper body. We'll start off with a little bit of a wall push-up, and we'll transition into a bit of a plank. Do your best with the wall push-up to make sure that the hands are directly in front on the shoulder. You're going to stay on the balls of your feet. You're going to fall into the wall slowly and gently, making sure that you're keeping your belly nice and tight. Once you get towards the wall, you're going to push away from it, engaging the muscles of the chest and the shoulders, and then coming back. We're going to do 10 together as a group. Immediately after that, we are going to either place our elbows or, again, keep our hands in that push-up position, and we're going to hold a wall plank for 10 seconds. Do your best to stay nice and engaged in through the torso. Think bringing your belly button in towards your spine, but you're still breathing. We're not holding our breath through the motion. So do your best. We're going to come through, get yourself set up, and we're going to do 10 push-ups together as a group, coming into the wall for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Awesome job. Next, we're either going to keep our hands in that same position, or we're going to come up onto our elbows, and we are going to maintain that plank position. So you'll still stay nice and tall and rigid. You're going to bring your belly button in towards your spine. Get that nice, deep, slow contraction. Don't hold your breath. And we're going to hold here for about 10 seconds. Ready? Steady, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax out of there. We'll take a little bit of a break. Grab some water if you need to. You can walk around, do a little bit of marching. We'll come back and we'll do our second round. Welcome back. We're going to go through our second round. We're going to start off with our push-ups first. Remember, same hand positioning out in front. Belly button stays nice and tight and tall. We're going to come into the wall gently, pushing ourselves off with our shoulders and our arms, and our chest, and then coming back into that start position. And then we'll transition into either a wall plank on our elbows or from our hands. So find that area where you can get set up. Hands will come out in front. Belly button is going to stay tight. We're going to come into the wall for 1, pushing yourself back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Good, and then from that same position, we can either place our elbows or our forearms on the wall or keep a position from our hands. We're gonna stay nice and straight, staying tall. We're gonna hold this position for about 10 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax from there. Again, we're going to take a little bit of a break now. Grab some water, do a little bit of walking, marching on the spot, or do a little bit of stair climbing if you're able to. Now, for the next part, we're going to do our exercises from a seated position. So make sure that you have your chair. Like we've talked about before, we want you to sit on the edge of your chair. We don't want you relaxing against the backrest, making sure that your torso is keeping you up and we're not hinged forward in any way. Good. From this position, we're sitting nice and tall. We are going to bring our knee up towards our chest, and we're going to hold for about 3 seconds, making sure that we're bringing that knee up nice and high. I'm just counting on my fingers so I can talk and count at the same time. Good. Staying nice and tall, nice and upright. Excellent. Again, if you feel any pain or discomfort, avoid this motion or find a range of motion that you're able to maintain. We're going to do 2 more on each side. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. One more on each. 3, 2, 1. And last one here on the other side. Good. And then relax. Resetting your position if you need to. Staying nice and tall up, using that torso to keep you nice and upright. Next, we're going to lift that knee up ever so slightly and bring that leg out. Really making sure that we're feeling that muscle of the top of the leg doing the work. Coming out with a nice straight leg. Do your best to try to keep your ankle at 90 degrees rather than pointed forward. Good. We're going to do about 3 more. 2 and 1. Good. And then relax. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We'll bring that knee up. We'll bring that leg out, keeping that ankle locked in at about 90 degrees. Making sure that we feel the muscle of that top of the thigh doing the work. Good. Keeping that nice normal breathing pattern. We're going to do 4 more. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Good. So now we've worked that top of the thigh. Next, we're going to work that underside just one more time with a little bit of resistance this time. So next, you're going to extend that leg out nice and flat against the floor. If you need something to decrease the resistance or to make it a little bit easier, use something like a kitchen towel, a Ziploc container, or the top of a Ziploc bag, and we're going to pull that leg in towards us. We're going to alternate, but you can do it at home with a single leg. The harder that you press down, the harder the exercise will be. So it's totally up to you to determine how much or how little resistance you put into this. We're going to press nice and hard down into the floor, pulling back in. If this is uncomfortable at the ankle, another thing that we can do is press that heel down and same idea, curl in like so. We should really start to feel that underside of that leg working, maybe down into that lower leg, feeling a little bit of a contraction. Good, we're going to do 1 more on each leg. Good, and last one. Perfect. From this position, we're going to bring that leg back out. We're going to point our toe as far as we can, and pull. We're going to press that toe as far forward as you can, and then bring those toes as far back towards your shin as you are able to. Good, reaching all the way through, and then back. So it's a press and a pull. A press and a pull. If that gets too tiring, you can still bring that leg down against the ground and do the exact same thing. Again, individualize it as best as you are able to. I'm going to do one more on this side, and then we're going to switch. Good. Reposition, sitting nice and tall, using that torso to keep you nice and upright. We'll bring that leg out. We're going to push and pull. Push and pull. Good. Making sure that we get that nice contraction, pushing that toe all the way through, and then getting that nice stretch through the back of the leg as we pull those ankles back. Good. If your leg is starting to get a little bit tired, you can drop it down, do the exact same thing. Good. And we're going to do two more. And the last one here. Good. Lastly, we're going to bring that ankle out into a big full rotation. Start off in one direction. We're going to do both, so it doesn't matter which way you go. Good. Next, you're going to change direction. If you were going clockwise, now you're going counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, or just go the opposite direction that you were going. Good. Switch sides. Again, sitting nice and tall, bracing that torso, making sure that you're nice and upright. We're going to start going in one direction with that ankle. Good. And then rotating the other direction. So counterclockwise if you were going clockwise or vice versa. Good, and then relaxing from there. We're going to take about 2 minutes, a little bit of a break, do a little bit of walking, some type of movement, and then we'll go into a little bit of an exercise circuit to finish things off. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to do our exercise circuit. So some of you, if you participated in the class before, you might recognize this. We're going to do 3 exercises for 30 seconds each. There's modifications for each one, so just choose the one that is the most appropriate. For our first exercise, we are going to do a squat or a sit to stand. If we're doing our sit to stand, we're going to make sure that we're sitting with our feet flat on the ground, with them about shoulder width apart, maybe hip width apart, toes pointed out ever so slightly. You're going to make sure that your hands are either crossed across your body or on your hips. We don't want you to push yourself up out of your chair. We want you to actually use your legs and hips to drive you up. If you are doing a traditional squat, make sure that our feet are hip shoulder width apart. We're leaning back with our hips to whatever depth is comfortable, engaging with our bum first and foremost. So that'll be the first exercise. The second exercise is going to be some version of a jumping jack. If your legs and arms are moving together, fantastic. If you have a little bit of shoulder discomfort or pain, that's okay. Turn that into a little bit of a side step. If the hips are bugging you a little bit today, we're just going to bring the arms up and down. As long as some type of a limb is moving, we're totally fine. And then lastly, we're going to focus on that balance exercise. So make sure that you have your chair next to you in case you need to catch yourself for balance. Wall can work as well. Our 2 variations are going to be either a single leg balance stance, making sure that we're keeping our head up and looking straight ahead. I don't want you to be looking down. If that is too difficult or you're unable to maintain that, we are going to hold our tandem stance. So heel to toe, we're going to go for about 15 seconds with each leg in front and then alternate it from there. So find the option that works best for you. We are going to start here in the next 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to start with that body weight squat, making sure that we're reaching back with our hips, pushing the floor away from you, And if you're sitting back in your chair, reach that bum back nice and far. Excellent. We're gonna go for about 10 more seconds here. Keep going, make sure that you're breathing nice and normally, not holding your breath. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, relax out of there. Next we'll lead into that jumping jack. So again, some variation of the limbs moving. We're gonna start in 3, 2, and 1. Good, making sure that the arms are either moving with the feet. The feet are just moving if you feel a little bit of shoulder discomfort. If the hips are bugging you a little bit, get the arms moving. If none of those options works, march is totally fine. Good, we're about halfway done. Good, keep pushing, keep pushing. We got about 10 seconds left. Good, keep going, nice long reaches. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Find yourself next to your chair or against a wall space. We are going to lift either one leg up and hold in that position. If that's too challenging, we're going to do our tandem stance. Either way, you're looking straight ahead. You're not looking down at your feet. We're going to go for 15 seconds per side. Ready? And go. Making sure that we're looking straight ahead. If that foot happens to come down in your single leg stance, that's okay. Let it tap, gather yourself, and come back into that position. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Good, switching sides. And we'll go right into it. Good, holding. If you need to bring your arms out, that's totally fine. Looking straight ahead, not looking down. If that foot drops, bring it back up. If you're doing your tandem stance, keep holding. 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. Take a little bit of a break, go grab some water, catch your breath a little bit. We're going to do that one more time, and that'll conclude today's session. So we're going to go through that one more time. We're going to do either the sit to stand variation or a body weight squat. It's totally up to you. Either way, make sure that your feet are centered about shoulder width apart. You have your hands either across or on your hips. Belly button stays nice and tight. Reaching back with that hip, regardless of if you're in the chair or if you're doing a body weight squat. Second variation again is going to be that jumping jack. Some modified version of it. Totally up to you how you want to do it. We'll go 30 seconds with that last one, with that one, and then with the last one, we're going to do that balance exercise, that single leg stance, keeping that head up nice and tall. So if we're ready, we'll find our position, feet shoulder width apart, starting and go. Reaching back with that hip, staying nice and tall, pushing that floor away from you, making sure that we have that breath nice and consistent. Good, nice normal breathing. Halfway done. Good, keep going, keep going. We got about 10 seconds left. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Take a little bit of a second or a break if you need to. Next, we're going to move into that jumping jack. So again, arms are moving with the feet, or just the feet are moving. We're going to start in 3, 2, and 1. Good. Reaching up nice and high with those arms. Reach out nice and far with those feet if you're able to. Again, if you have any type of shoulder pain, discomfort, eliminate the shoulders and the arm movements, and we're just going to do that side step out to the side. If the feet are bugging you a little bit, we're just going to reach up nice and tall. We're going to go for 3, 2, 1, and good. Last exercise, again, we're going to focus on that balance. Holding next to your chair against the wall. We're going to either do that single leg stance or we're going to do that tandem stance. Totally up to you. We're going to start here in 4, 3, 2, 1. Good for 15 seconds. Holding that position. If you deviate, that's okay. Correct your stance and then return back in. We're gonna hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs, make sure that chair is nice and close by, looking straight ahead. Don't look down. If that foot comes off, totally fine. Continue on. We're gonna go here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Go grab a little bit of a drink, relax. You are done today's session. Great job today. Do your best to keep up with the activity to the best of your ability. We'll see everybody later. Bye-bye.